I haven't started.
Oh, fine. Oh, well, now you can. But I just want to say thank you so much for hosting this. It's really amazing. And yeah, on behalf of everyone at the ST, it's just fab. So without further ado, please keep going. But yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, so today I was just trying to share the knowledge I have about running AI systems because most people feel uncomfortable having their data up in the cloud. So you can try building your own system in-house where everything runs on your machine and you don't have to send your data out of your company if that's so important. There are various ways of doing it, but with the methods I'll use, we just go straight into Python coding and try to build a system from scratch. But it'll be good, like, we just go and see what ChatGPT does. Like, a normal ChatGPT model will ask you, how are you today? I'm doing great, Landry. That's ChatGPT for you. So, but how does this work? How does ChatGPT work? So that's what we'll be talking about. We just have to build something. So all AI models are built on AI models. Yeah, we should just AI systems, or we should just large language models trained on multiple data. Not so important. With our system, we'll just get a model from Hugging Face. Hugging Face is an open source repository for data. Like, we just go to Hugging Face and we get our data models from there. It just depends on your system, what type of model you like to have for your system. So you just go to Hugging Face, you pick up a model from there. You don't have to train the model from scratch. Like, training a model is quite expensive because you need a lot of GPU and computational power. So for a business that isn't that wealthy, you just have to go to Hugging Face. You create an account, it's free of charge. So you create an account. There are various models you can use. I specialize in using Llama model or the IBM Granite. I use a Llama 3.1 Instruct. The Instruct model is just a model which you can have. It's more tuned to have an instruction. It's more of an instruction communication with the user. So you just have to choose your model. That's the model. And you go to settings. And on your setting page, you just have to get an access token. An access token is something which is granting you permission to get the model out of Hugging Face. So Llama is a model trained by Facebook on the GPU systems which you have. So we just have to use the model. I have already had the Llama 11B version. That's the 11 billion version with a computer vision model, or the 11 or the Llama 3. Yep. Or the Llama 3B02 model. The Llama 3B model is the Llama 3 billion parameter model. AI models generally have parameters, and those are the things that matter when you're trying to install your model. The model parameter. Because that will determine if you're capable of installing it on your machine or not. A 3 billion parameter model means we have 3 billion digits on the weight of the model. The weights are generally parameters which tell the AI how to move through the model. So we have 3 billion model for the Llama 3 billion model, and each weight or each parameter occupies a 32 byte precision in your memory. So if each parameter occupies 32 bytes and you have 3 billion models, so in total you have to occupy close to 28 gigabytes of memory to be able to run the system. because that'll be 3 billion times 32, which should give you something in the neighborhood of 28 gigabytes. So that's how we measure how much space a model can run on your memory. So that's how OpenAI, that's how ChatGPT runs. They have the big computers, so they have the capacity to run all that, but we don't. So you just get your small model, you get a good machine, which you can run your model from. I'll be running the Llama 3.2 model. I have downloaded the model, so the model has been downloaded on my machine. And the download process is easy if the company wants the model on their machine. It's just a straightforward process. You just have to use the download system, download model, which is just a normal code. You just import your OS, that's importing the operating system. Then you get a Hugging Face Hub. Hugging Face Hub is an open source free token. I mean, a free library, which you can use to get any model you want, which is free of charge online, into your company system. They run it, you run the snap download. Snap download it's a module that takes a snapshot and brings it down to, it means just downloading the model onto your computer. That's just what the whole download process does. And after you've downloaded the process, you have it stored somewhere on your machine. The machine I'm using is it's a Linux Ubuntu system with 32 gigabytes of RAM, 12 gigabytes of GPU system. It's a 12 gigabyte of GPU. That's an AMD. I think I'm using, let's see my system. I'm using an AMD. Yeah, it should be on an. Got my system mixed up. Well, I'm on an AMD system that's the radio system. I think is the Arrow X. I'm on an Arrow X 70 something. I haven't checked that in a while. But basically, my system has 12 gigabytes of GPU. So my system can run any model which has less than 12 gigabytes of GPU. Means as long as the model size is less than 12 gigabytes, then it can run on my system. If it's more than 12 gigabytes, it can run on my system. So any business which wants to run a model needs to have hardware capable of running that model. Not that difficult. It's less than 600 pounds to get a whole system that runs the model. So running the model on your system, you have to download the model from Hugging Face, as I said. It's free of charge. If you have a software engineer, you have to create the software engineer will have to create a visual environment. The visual environment is just an environment inside your computer where your system can run without interacting with your other systems in your computer. If you are using a Linux system, you have to install the ROC system. These are for the software guys. You need a ROC system because Linux and AMD, most AI models are built for Nvidia GPUs. And to run it on an AMD GPU, you need the ROC system, which is it's an AMD system that's built to accommodate the Nvidia CUDAs. For all this stuff just for the IT guys. You get to install your system. You get a requirement dependency, and you get to install Torch. Torch is a library, a free open source library, which is used It's a Facebook library used for machine learning coding. A library is just a free package which we use to run code. So you use touch vision, and touch audio. Touch is a general machine learning library. Touch vision is for the vision model if you need to analyze images, and touch audio is for audio systems. Then we can also install touch for quantization. Quantization here is when the AI model is too large for your computer to run. There's a way for you to break it down such that it runs on your machine without destroying the precision or without making the model become useless. It means, as I said in the beginning, most models parameterize a 32 float system. It means you need 32 bytes to store the parameter, but there are ways of making it store on a 4 byte, reducing your space. It means you can run a model even on your phone. So it's a concept of quantization, which if you are a company, you don't need a lot of precision and accuracy. You can intend quantize your model to become smaller as long as it does what you want it to do. So if you're a business and you don't think, no, I don't have a lot of money, I don't have a thousand quids to spend on hardware. Okay, we can make the model smaller where you can use 500 quids to install the model on your system. So after you do the setup process is easier. The README file is here. I think I'll share the README file on the GitHub repository or somewhere online. Everything becomes easy now. You get your model sorted. That's your model. I just need to get the model file, the file on my system, the name of the model, which is a Llama 329B model. I get my model initialization. Model initialization is just a file that I like to create to initialize my model. And the model is made up of two parts. We have the tokenizations and we have the pre-trained model. Or the model tokenizations are the tokens which the model uses to run. I'll show everything when we begin the system. I'll run the system so we have an idea of what I'm talking about. And for my test run, I'll be using the Playwright model. I think Emmanuel made a video on Playwright on how to use a Playwright for testing. So I'll be using the Playwright to test my AI system. The AI system is running on the background, and I'll use the Playwright to open the model. Yeah. So this is actually everything running on my system right now. So it's not from an external API. It's directly running on my desktop. So if any business which needs a model on their hardware can build a model themselves. At this level, this AI system has been prompted or has been engineered to be particularly a stock analyzer. So it analyzes stocks, but it's not up to date. So it just analyzes stocks which were there before 2023, just to get some information. So it's a stock analyzing model, or a tuned model, as we say. So how do we tune the model? We tune model by prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is you kind of tell the model to do something particular. Prompt engineering is basically just English. I just have to tell the model in proper English, like do something in a particular format, which is our system prompt engineering. So in this case, I just told our system, I just told our assistant, you're a financial advisor and financial analyst. Answer questions in this field with a polite tone. Yeah, there I am telling the system, I'm prompting the system. It's to be a financial advisor, and that's the only thing it's to do. So in this case, even though it's an LLM and it can do various things, but we prompt it to do something particular. So that's the nature of prompt engineering, which is just a form of adapting an LLM to your business model. There are three forms of adapting an LLM to your business model. You can either do a prompt engineering, you can do a RAG, which is a retrieval augmented generation, in which you have your private data and you tell the LLM to go to your private data, pick the private data and analyze the private data for you. That's RAG, retrieval augmented generation. Prompt engineering is the easiest because it doesn't cost the firm anything. It just needs you to know how to ask the LLM particular questions or to make the LLM do particular things for your organization. Like if my organization was a charity organization, I would change this to you are a charity organization for health care. A charity organization for healthcare. I'll just come to my system and I said, what are you? Yeah. Hello, I'm representing a Hope Link, a charity organization dedicated to improving health system. So now the system is making itself a charity organization. It will answer just questions with regards to a charity organization. Is there something anyone wants to know before we continue?
Silence is golden, I think, so you're good.
No, like, is there anything anyone wants to have like a feel for, like something in particular?
Any takers? I couldn't ask for anything specific because I don't know any of this, but for those of you more technical. Oh, okay, so we've got a question, I think, for the end. It's if there's time at the end, you have an RAC example. But we can get to that later if that fits, Landry. It's up to you.
Okay. Yeah, so this is running a system locally. And I think I had a friend. Oh, okay. He doesn't have the link. Because there's this other guy. He works with your charity too. He was planning on talking about ChatGPT using the API. But he's telling me he doesn't have the link. I'm like, oh.
Oh, do you know what his name is? We can always shoot him a
Yeah,
Slack
Bumi.
or something.
Yeah, Bumi.
Do you know if he's on our Slack channel? Because it should be on the link to the meeting is in the general channel on Slack.
Yeah.
Maybe just let him know. Sorry, I couldn't see him on Slack.
Okay. Why would it take? I just want to know if like there's anything like particular which someone wants to know about your business or their business model on how to make an AI work for their business.
I mean, a question that comes to my mind is like, what are the real life examples that you've used this for? So, have you just learned this out of interest? You know, have you worked with particular charities where you've done this for them? That would be quite interesting to know.
I generally use the AI find prompt engineering AI models mostly to do stock analysis for my like for myself, and we haven't installed this for for charity, but it's just giving the idea that it's there for any charity that wants to use it in-house. Yeah, but we haven't used it out of our system. So most of the time we just prompt engineer, build a system to do stock analysis before purchase of some things.
Got you. Brilliant. Anyone else? I think you could probably move on, or was it the case, Landry, that this was your part of the presentation and you were going to wait for your friend to do the next? Oh, busy coding.
Yeah, let me.
Sorry. You could potentially answer the question now about, do you have an RAC example?
Let's see. Oh, the rack example. No, I don't have a rack example in here. But when it comes to a rack model, the best way of going about it is using Llama. It makes things really easy. Sorry, who asked it?
So that was Chris.
Hello, I did.
Yeah.
I was just curious how, because you mentioned using Rack to bring in maybe a charity or client's own knowledge base or website or something, something that you want them to access or even more structured data.
Yeah, bring it. Yeah. No, I haven't done the rack implementation on this system yet.
No problem. Can I ask a follow-up then? Well, actually, not follow-up, totally different question. When the AI is responding, and that's been rendered on your screen there, sort of bit at a time, is that token at a time, or
Yes.
how how does that work?
Yeah, the token at the time. If I'm building a model from scratch, I use a threading like Python thread. You generally know the threading model runs things asynchronously. That means each thread, it creates each thread for a token being produced. So I use an async function. So I am running the model in an asynchronous way, in such a way the program is running, but the model is running on a different thread in the program. So once each model is generated, I use in the transformer, we have the text iteration streamer. It streams the output. It doesn't wait for the entire output to be generated before it begins streaming. So the streaming module gets each token once it's generated, and it creates a generator. You just have to yield it. We get a generator, we use a thread. That means when one token is created, it's sent to a thread, that thread is completed, that token is sent to the screen. So it just keeps on doing the process, creating the thread over and over again and we keep on yielding till the process terminates. Okay. So we generate that using the text iteration. Then from the text iteration, I'm using Fast API to create the API. So after that, you can use a stream response from Fast API to send the token to the front end. So this is the front end. I just did the JavaScript stuff. I do not want to do the Next.js stuff. So the front end now collects the token and generates it to your screen, token by token.
Yeah. And would you ever want to intercept that and change what's coming back, or is it just a case you just stream what's coming back directly as you're doing?
Like intercepting the I think I haven't I believe you can, because I believe you can change you can change you can intercept the token. I think that should be doable. You can intercept the token from the front end.
Okay.
Because from the front end, if you I think that would be more of a security type of thing because because when the tokens are being generated, it's basic JavaScript. We are just taking an output. We do a what is it? We just get document get element by ID. We got an element in there, and we just get the tokens as they arrive. We call the tokens chunks. So each token once they arrive. So if I want to intercept it, I just have to change the chunk over here.
Okay.
Then I'll produce something else.
And one final question again, jumping around a bit. You mentioned that you use this for stock analysis. But the model itself must have a cutoff date and time of sort of the knowledge it knows about. And I'm assuming that stock analysis needs to be more up to date. How does that work? How do you use it to analyze stocks when it is a historic model?
Yeah, given this is a historic model, when I want to analyze my stock on time, I'll mostly use ChatGPT and I go for the up to date. But I'm still trying to implement this because if I use RAGs and AI web agent AI agents to search the web, then use the data from the web as an input source, then I can update the memory of the AI system to get to up to date instead of fine tuning the system, which I can because I'm not that rich. Yeah. So it's just if you can get an agent that searches the web. I think the best AI agents to use, a free tools to use are N8N. So it doesn't need coding. It's just pick and draw. But it's the truth is AI agents are just large language models with a sensor and an actuator. That's that. Yeah. So once if I really wanted to go in depth, we could use the playwright as our actuator. The actuator is just our output. When the AI model brings out the information, we can send that information to playwright and use headless mode. It sends us back that information, then we send it back into our model, then insert it into the context window of the model with our input. Then it can make the model become up to date.
Okay.
It's a form of RAG, yeah.
Yeah, yep. Okay, cool, thank you.
Brilliant. Any more questions before Landry proceeds? No. No, all good. Okay, Landry, you can go for whatever it is coming next.
Bumi, are you around?
Yes, I'm around.
Yeah, so if you could just go ahead to present the system. Yeah, he'll be presenting more of like getting in depth with ChatGPT, using ChatGPT AIs. For those who really don't care about security or don't care about an in-house systems, they can just go ahead and use a AI model for their transformations and everything. I think I'll stop sharing.
Got you. Thank you.
Okay. Just a moment. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Or afternoon, potentially.
Afternoon. Can you see my screen?
Nearly. It says you've started screen sharing, but I can't see quite what's on it yet. Are you the same, Charlotte? Yeah.
Yeah, we can see.
I think it's just loading. Oh, there we go. It's appeared now. Thank you.
Okay. So this morning, I will just be going through just a moment. Can you see my PowerPoint? You can see my PowerPoint, right?
Yeah, it's up on screen. Perfect.
Okay. So this morning, I will be going through prompt engineering and implementation of LLM API. You can see my face, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So what is a large language model? It's just a way of speaking with, what is prompt engineering? It's just a way of speaking with large language model. You know, there's a way you speak with your computer, and especially when you're programming. This one is it's a way you program the large language model in such a way that they give you what you want. So basically, as you can see from this slide, it's crafting the inputs in such a way, in some specific steps, in such a way that the large language model can give you exact and accurate information that is useful, especially when you want to code the large language model to produce the output that you want. So you can see crafting input, selecting the right word, then you structure it so that you can elicit the right information that you need. Because of time, I will only be going through some frameworks that if you are able to master this framework, you don't even need to be more advanced. There are some advanced aspects of it, but with this, you are able to really prompt the large language model in an effective and efficient way. So I will just go through mega prompts. Most of the time, mega prompts, it is the foundation of prompting, where you have to make sure there are specific aspects that you include in your prompt to ensure that the large language model gives you what you want. And most of the time, to make it very easy, there are elements. These elements are broken down, as you can see on the screen. These elements, when you combine them in your prompt, it gives you accurate information. You could as well go to ChatGPT and just say, write a poem for me, or that would be very vague. Or you just say, write a poem about the United Kingdom, for example. But then it will be more efficient to include all these elements in order to write the poem. So the first one in meta prompt is action. You want to tell the large language model what action you want the LLM to take. For example, you can say, like I said before, write a poem. But then you go further in the steps. In order to make it do exactly what you want, you need to write the steps. Not, okay, you can say, write a poem for me, and these are the steps I want you to go through. Number one, this. Number two, but let me just go through it. I'm going to show you an example how this works. So the steps is an outline of the steps you want the LLM to take. Then you have to assume a persona. You can say you are skilled in language and a poem writer or something, whatever, with 25 years experience. That's, you are allowing the LLM to assume a persona so that it's able to really give you what you want. Then you can provide examples. Okay, this is the structure I want the output to be in, because whatever you might have written some poem in the past, you can even say, okay, follow, from the top of my head, I can't remember a very good poem writer, but let's say ABC is a very good poem writer. You can say, this is an example I want you to follow from ABC. You give that example. In that way, this might be a little bit restrictive, but if you really know what you want, you can really streamline it to give you something that seems a little bit like the example you are giving. Then the context, you share the context, you give a background. I'm trying to write a poem for the end of the year for so. I have been given the responsibility of writing this poem. That's when you give a context. Then the last one is constraints. Make sure that it's in markdown. Make sure constraint means that these are the limits, because if you allow the large language model to really go overboard, it's just going to just give you whatever it likes. But in order to be able to constrain it to what you really want, you can say, I want it in Markdown. Don't include this aspect. Don't mention, so you can really control your prompting in this way. So a quick one for the example: write a persuasive essay on the topic, should artificial intelligence be regulated? This is our action. If you see from what I've explained in the previous slide, you have to start with action. You can see, start with action here. Emulate a seasoned academic writer. Now, you are giving it a persona. Yeah, this is advanced prompting. Now you have to give it the steps that it has to follow. You can see this is much more more refined than when you just tell. You can as well go to ChatGPT and say, write an essay on the topic, should artificial intelligence be regulated? And just leave it like that. This is how people that are not really advanced in prompting do it. And it's also going to give you the information that you want, but it might not be what is ideal. So you go through the steps, research the topic, like that, then write compelling conclusion. You are able to prompt it with the steps. Then the essay should be 1,000 to 1,002 words. This is, you are giving it the constraint, just like it has been said here. You're giving it the constraints within which it should write. You can also tell it to write it in a Markdown. Probably you want to put it on your website. And so that's about it for meta prompts. It's a very effective, useful tool. With this, you are able to prompt even in a more efficient way, even if you don't know any other advanced level prompting. Then the next thing is progressive prompting. In this way, instead of you to bombard the large language model with all the information you need to write like this, you need to write like this, you need to write like this. You want to, in the same chat window, you want to start from the beginning. Okay, our company, this is just an example from the top of my head. Our company, I've decided to expand our marketing, and we need a marketing proposal and the steps to take. Can you provide a good way for us to market our product? Something like that, just from the top of my head. So when you ask ChatGPT, whatever answer it gives you, you want to also probe what aspect of this, why do you think this is the best? It will tell you because of your target audience and all that. Then you can now, so that all the information that you need for your marketing endeavor, you are able to get it from the large language model. So like I've broken the process here. Most of the time when you really want to ask a follow-up question, it's always good to have a plan, not just do it in a scattered way. So the way I like to do it is just to define the context. What's the context of what you are asking the large language model? So you gather surrounding information to set the stage. Our company is taking a giant stride, and we're looking at breaking into the Asian market, and we are looking for a marketing plan that will really allow us to be the global leader in the tech industry, for example. And then ChatGPT will say, okay, this is what I think you should do. Then you can look at the answer that ChatGPT has given and say, oh, why do you have this? Why do you think this answer will work? And how do we implement this? So in the same window, you are able to bring together all of the information that you need. It's just that you're not asking everything at once. You are getting it in levels. In this way, you are able to create powerful prompts that ChatGPT or whatever large language model you are using is able to use. In meta prompts, now the AI is going to write the prompt for you. This could be useful for people that are not really advanced. What I can advise is when you use your the first one, sorry, this is supposed to be mega prompt. Mega prompt. When you use your meta prompt, you are now able to use the large language model to refine it. Let's say, for example, when you give, let's say you have given this is your prompt that you developed by yourself, and you are not really sure you are doing the right thing. In order to even make it better, you can just tell ChatGPT, this is the prompt that I have developed. Now, you now pre-prompt the AI, look at the prompt, this is what I'm trying to achieve, look at the prompt, and you rewrite it in a better way so that it's able to give me what I want. Now you test this prompt, you will see the results, and if it did not give you what you want, you can still reprompt the AI and say, oh, this is good, but there are some aspects that are not working. Can you rewrite the prompt? In this way, you are able to refine the prompt, like you say, your initial prompt, then the meta prompt, then you refine the prompt, then you have the final output. So this way, you are able to get a more efficient prompt that you can use. And most of the time when you are looking at using your API, these are the most popular large language model that you can use. OpenAI, Claude. OpenAI is like the leader because they have more research. They have a lot of research fund to really be the global leader. But Anthropic is also following immediately. Then you have Llama, Google Gemini, and Perplexity. Okay. So can you see my screen now?
We still see the slides, actually. I think you might need to switch. We still see the slides, so it's stuck on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just want to quickly, I don't know how many minutes I have. I just want to quickly show you an example of the implementation of the API and the prompts in an app.
That's great, thank you. We've got about 10 minutes till 1 o'clock, so plenty time. And yeah, like I've said before, if anyone has any questions, pop them in the chat and we can hopefully have time for them at the end. Ramasha, thank you. We'll get to your question.
Okay. Stop. Sorry, this is...
No worries. This is so interesting. I must admit, this section of the presentation is the one that I will be using more.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So this is the implementation of, you can see in this code, we're using the OpenAI and we're using the UI that is called Streamlit. I don't know if anybody is conversant with that. This is the UI. It's the UI that's we are able to create applications, and we are able to interact with it on the web browser. So there are some things that are called libraries in Python. This is Python. I'm using Python, sorry. So these are libraries. You just have to, number one, if you don't have Streamlit on your system, you have to implement it by installing it. Just pip install Streamlit, that's just it. If you don't have OpenAI, pip install OpenAI. you have to install all this library. Now you have to import all of them because they're going to be useful. This one, the PyPDF tool, is going to be reading our PDF. The OpenAI is our large language model that we're going to be interacting with. The Streamlit is the UI, and this I will be helping us with our files. So this bit here, now I have to implement this, the OpenAI. This OpenAI is hidden the API key. I don't know if I have to go through how to get the OpenAI key. I think is for people that are not. Oh, I still have to share my screen to do that. Okay, let me just say, you just go to Google and say, Google how to get the OpenAI key from from OpenAI. You log in, you have to pay. I think the minimum you can deposit is like 10 pounds or something. Now you can create key every time you want to use it. You can create a new key, and that key, this key is hidden in some part of the, I think I have to open the folder. I'm not going to show the key, but I'm going to show you where, yeah, the key is hidden here. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hidden here. I'm not going to show it. Okay, I can open it. It's so this is the project, and this key is hidden here. So I'm going to call it from here. You can also do something like this. OpenAI, I mean, what's this code? OpenAI dot API key. Yeah, you can see it like that.
Yeah.
OpenAI dot API key, something like this. But I'm storing the OpenAI inside the client. So API key is going inside the folder where I saved the OpenAI in order to bring it into this code. Now you are going to create a function. This part you can easily get it online. This is the way that OpenAI has implemented that you are able to interact with the large language model. So the response is going to use this client in order for the chat completion. Then you can now specify the model you'll be using, which is GPT-4 mini. You can also change it to GPT 3.5 or whichever one you want. You can change it to GPT-4. That is GPT-4.0 without the mini. Then you assign the role of the user. The role is the user, meaning that you are the one. Then the content that will be interacting with the system will be the prompt that you give it. The prompt engineering that we have learned before, this is where it's not going to be useful. Then you're going to define your the UI that you're going to be using. This is majorly the labels that you create. So the title is AI job interview coach. This is an app that simulates the process of being interviewed. For example, you are a business analyst, you are a project manager, whatever, you got an email that you have an interview. All you just have to do is to input all this information. There is a part where you have to input the job description, you input the company information, then you input your resume. Then you now ask the large language to assume from prompting. Don't forget here to assume the role of, yeah, you can see, act like a professional job interview coach. You will help me to prepare for my next job interview by simulating a complex, realistic, and tricky job interview. Then this bit now is the prompt that you are. Sorry, my time is almost off. So this bit now is the prompt that you are going to give the large language model. You're also going to define, so the job description part is, here is the company's website. You put it. Step 2, write a quick summary of your learnings. After you have you've input all those things, you are going to ask the large language to summarize whatever it has seen and all that, so that you can start the interview simulation. Step 4, start the interview one question at a time, like a real simulation and all that. So let me just go through it. And so these are all the implementation of the prompt.
This is brilliant. And yeah, I'm conscious of time as well. We've got one question, which would be great if you could answer, but otherwise, we could follow up with messages afterwards. So,
okay.
So no problem.
So after running this code now, this app is going to run in the browser. I can take questions now while I wait for the app to run in the browser because of time. I think I have like 2 minutes.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. Okay, so it's from Ramisha, and she's asked, what would you recommend as the starting point for someone just beginning to learn?
You need to go and learn Python. Start the recommendation for someone that is starting to learn what? Is it starting to learn prompt engineering, or you want to learn how to code, build your own app?
Yeah, because that's the stuff. If it depends the field in which you want to get into. If you want to get into the in-depth knowledge of it, then you will have to get basic. But you always have to begin from Python. After you get your grounds on Python, then you get to understand, if you're going to the side of understanding what happens under the hood, then you have to get to understand basic ML systems, like trying to understand neural networks, understand data processes, understand the types of data. That's if you want to get into the in-depth understanding LLMs. But if you just want to use APIs, then you just have to get into knowing what is Python, then how to write your codes in Python, get a feel. You want to know the feel, because the most important thing when it comes to prompt engineering is the feel. You must be a master of that field to make prompts suited to that field. So you have to get into a niche and know your niche properly. Know Python, know your niche, and learn how to use APIs.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. I hope that's answered your question, Ramisha. Oh, it has. She says thank you. Right. Well, I appreciate it's 1 o'clock. I don't want to cut anyone off, but I also appreciate that this is everyone's lunch hour, and you all probably have other things to go back to. But I just want to thank you both so much for that presentation. I've certainly learned a lot that I didn't know before, and I hope that goes for everyone else that's been able to join us. I'm also thinking that would be really helpful, Bunmi, if you could possibly send over the slides that you've shared with us today, and we can recirculate those, because it's just a helpful kind of refresh and reminder of all the content you've given us today. That would be fab.
All right, no problem with that.
Thank you so much. All right, well, yeah, without further ado, thank you again, and thanks everyone for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you at the next Lunch and Learn.
All right.
Brilliant. Thanks so
Have a great
much.
day.
Oh,
Bye.
you too. Bye.
Bye.